One thing we told you we would try to get answers on today was the situation with Dallin Hayden, someone Ohio State had talked about very optimistically. Ryan Day had talked about him, praised him a little bit coming into the Michigan game, and then he barely had a role in the Michigan game, even though their running back group was pretty depleted. And we thought, hey, ask the direct question, why didn't you have a bigger role? And I didn't think Ryan Day cleared that up very much today. Some people had speculated that maybe it was a ball security thing, but Ryan Day said what I've been saying, what others have been saying, like, no, I talk about all the running backs that way. I always talk about ball security. It's kind of a default setting for him. So, Doug, just from what you heard today, any better read on why Dallin Hayden didn't play? And do you believe Ryan Day when he says he'll have a big role in the bowl game?
So he did play. He did play in the Michigan game. It's not like we know he wasn't hurt. He did play. He did play at the end of the game. I mean, like when they were down like 2 scores and like trying to save their season, it was like, oh, they put him in then. So there was the year. What year was it? It was last year when it felt like the backup running back changed week to week, sort of based on like who had the better practice. And the thing that Ryan Day said a couple times today was, well, that's Tony's decision, right? Talking about this with Dallin Hayden. Tony Alford's the running backs coach. And I do think a lot of times, I think maybe we all don't talk about it enough, that it's like the guy in charge of the room really does make the playing time decisions. I mean, we talk about that with Larry Johnson and how they rotate on the defensive line. I think like you're really in charge of that. It's Ryan Day's not telling Tim Walton who to play at corner because Tim Walton has a handle on his room. I don't think Ryan Day is telling Tony Alford who to play at running back. So I do think the way it was talked about today, I think it's possible that maybe Chip Traynum just had a great week of practice. Because in the like last year when it was, right, sometimes Master Teague, sometimes Mayan Williams, it was like, what's going on? It's like they're battling for snaps. They're battling for carries in practice every week, and this guy was better this week. Maybe that happened. And so for Ryan Day to say, oh, Dallin Hayden, he'll have a role in the Peach Bowl. Now he's got a whole month to prep for the Peach Bowl. Maybe that'll change a little bit. It feels like Trayvon Henderson's not going to play. It feels like they're going to need a number 2 guy behind Mayan Williams. Will that be Chip? Will that be Dallin? It could be as simple as that while Ryan Day, Michigan week, was talking about how good Dallan Hayden had been, out at practice, Tony Alford was saying, this guy just looks a little more ready to me this week. And I think if it feels like a mystery still, except maybe it's just the most normal thing it is, which is a guy practice better. I don't know.
Still not a completely normal thing, though. You're talking about a guy who had one running back rep or one handoff, had taken one carry coming into the game, and had been a linebacker most of the season.
He had been hurt the previous couple weeks, right. So he, I think, was repping more as a running back. We hadn't seen it in a game, right. But it's not like, and we knew that, it's not like he took his first practice reps at running back. So it's possible that Chip Traynum had been tearing it up in practice for a couple weeks or whatever, had shown it previously, and then wasn't able to go on Saturday. So I do think we have to keep that in mind, too. We don't know what it looked like the previous couple weeks in practice. We just know that Chip wasn't playing on Saturdays.
And Dave was also asked, like, how did Dallin Hayden kind of take that to have been, like, on the verge, kind of improved himself, had played so well in the Maryland game. Ryan Day saying, hey, you just look at the film. You can see him doing things that other guys aren't doing. Like, that means something. And then to have such a reduced role, how do you think that gets processed, Stephen, going forward? And is this one of those things that could be a learning experience for Dallin Hayden, something that gives him a kick in the butt or whatever going into the playoff, going into next season?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was already doing more than he was expected to do this year, so it's what he was able to do against Indiana and Maryland was already a bonus. He came in thinking, I'm the 4th guy on the depth chart, and he's the 4th guy on the depth chart. It's just now one of the guys ahead of him was a linebacker 4 weeks ago. So I don't. Maybe it's nothing. Dallan Hayden's also from a family of pros, so he'll maybe handle it a little bit different and understand. I'll be ready for my moment, and when it's not my moment, I'll cheer on the guy who's ahead of me. This doesn't seem like the situation last year where Travion knew he was a starter and should have been the starter from day one. So we're going, hey Trey, how are you handling have to share things with guys who are clearly not as good as you are? It's not. It's apples to oranges, so it's probably nothing for Dallan Hayden, and it's more of a question of where, I mean, you get to Georgia asking Tony Alford what went into that decision, just like you'll ask every other assistant coach. This boils down to we don't get to watch practice, and we don't talk to every assistant coach every single week, and so Ryan Day has to handle a lot of questions that, to Doug's point, he's not necessarily in charge of that decision, even if he is the ultimate decision maker on that day. This is more of a Tony Alford question. We just haven't talked to Tony in like 8 weeks.
And we won't talk to him anytime soon. It might be Georgia. We might be in Atlanta before we talk to Tony again. But this is recording this on a Tuesday. We're talking to players on Wednesday. It may include running backs. It may not. Sometimes when guys are banged up, we don't get them. We'll let you know. But when we do hear things, we're going to text it first, 614-350-3315, $3.99 a month after a 2-week free trial. Now is a great time to start that because it'll take you certainly through the Peach Bowl and take you on towards a national championship game if Ohio State can get there. And listen to Buckeye Talk wherever you can find podcasts.